In this lesson, we're going to be looking at expanding and solving for linear equations. The equations will get more and more complex, but the concept is always the same. You're going to find the value of the unknown. In this case, it's an x. So here, probably the easiest thing to do is let's expand the bracket and see what we have. We have 3x, take 3, equals 6. I want to get into this x, so I need to unwrap it. When I say my expression on the left-hand side, 3x, take 3, the last thing I said was take 3. So that's the first thing I'm going to try to get rid of. And I do that by using an inverse operation. The inverse of take away is plus. I've got to do this to both sides of the equation, otherwise it's no longer equals. Looking at my left-hand side, I still have a 3x minus 3 plus 3 equals 0. So I have managed to get rid of that number. 6 plus 3 is 9. Now I want to get into the x. It's got a times 3 attached to it. The opposite of times 3 is divide 3. So let's do that to both sides. 3 divided by 3 is 1x. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And you know you don't need to worry about writing the 1. The next question. I have an x on both sides of my equation. I need to group my unknowns together. And we usually put them on the left-hand side because I want to finish my sum with x equals something at the end. So let's get rid of this x here. It's a plus x, so to get rid of it, I'm going to take x away. Do it to both sides. 4x, take away 1x is 3x, plus 1, x. I've taken away that x, so that's equal to 0, but I still have my minus 2. Now, the same as we had in the previous example, 3x plus 1, that's the last thing that happened, so that's the first thing that goes. Take 1 from both sides. 3x plus 1 minus 1 is minus 3. Divide by the 3. My x, 3's will cancel. I have x equals minus 3 divided by plus 3 is minus 1. The next one here involves a fraction, but we're still going to rely on our same process, undoing using inverse operations. Now, to work out what's got to go first, say the expression to yourself and see how that's been built up. We start with our x. It got multiplied by 7. Then we took 2 away, and finally it got divided by 3. Because that was the last thing that happened, that's the first thing that's going to go. So, divided by 3, the opposite of divided by 3 is times by 3. So, we then look and say, well, I've got a numerator and a denominator that has a 3. I can cancel those out. So on my left-hand side, I have 7x take 2. And on the right-hand side, 4 times 3 is 12. Then you can see it's the same sum as we've done twice already. Minus 2, I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of that. 7x equals minus 2 plus 2 have cancelled one another out. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0. 12 plus 2 is 14. Get rid of the 7 by dividing by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1x. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Next one. A little bit different. Have a look and see how it's been built up. Then we have an x that got doubled, then divided by 3, and the last thing that happened was this minus 2. Last thing that happened is the first thing that goes. The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. So I have 2x over 3 minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Carry the equals. Minus 8 plus 2 is minus 6. 2x divided by 3. Divided by 3 is the next thing that goes, which means I've got to multiply both sides by 3. So I have 3 divided by 3, cancels out. 2x is 6 times 3 is 18, and a minus 6 becomes minus 18 there. Divided by 2, divided by 2. 2 divided by 2, I have x equals minus 9. The next one is more complicated again. The best thing to do is just expand your brackets. So I have 12x take 3 equals 14x take 49. And then just as we did in the earlier example, I'm going to get my x's onto the left-hand side. So this 14x, I'm going to get rid of that by taking it away from both sides. 12 take 14 is minus 2x, minus 3, carry my equals down, 14x take 14x is gone, minus 49 left. This minus 3 is the next thing to go, and I get rid of that by adding 3. Minus 2x minus 3 plus 3 equals minus 49 plus 3 is minus 46. And then divide by minus 2 to both sides. Minus 2 divided by minus 2 gives me 1x. Minus and a minus make a plus. Half of 46 is 23. Building it up again, fraction on each side. Best thing to do is get a common denominator. So common denominator between 5 and 3 would be 15. So let's make each denominator 15. I've multiplied this by 3 to make it 15. So this also has to get multiplied by 3. So I have 3 outside of 2x plus 1. On the right-hand side, I multiplied my denominator by 5. So the numerator also gets multiplied by 5. So I have 5 outside of x take 1. Now, the best way to move forward here is to think about the fact that I have two fractions, they're equal, the denominators are the same. It has to stand that the numerators equal one another, otherwise your fraction is no longer equal. So that means that this here, 3 outside of 2x plus 1, has to equal 5 outside of x minus 1. So now all we need to do is continue to expand our brackets. So I'm going to have 6x plus 3 equals 5x take 5. Let's get rid of this 5x and move it on to the left-hand side. So I have 5x, 6x take 5x is 1x, plus 3, 5x take 5x is 0, and I have minus 5. Just because I've run out of room, I'll head over here. Take 3 from both sides. X equals, this plus 3 and minus 3 have gone. X equals minus 8 is my final answer there. One last example, again involving fractions. I'm taking the fractions away, so I need to get a common denominator. I'm going to make my common denominator 6 because 3 times 2 is 6. I've multiplied the denominator by 2, so I need to multiply the numerator by 2. In my second fraction, I've multiplied the denominator by 3, so I need to multiply my numerator by 3. Expanding brackets up the top. Be careful. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6x, but minus 3 times minus 1 is plus 3. Be careful there because that's an easy mistake to make. Grouping everything together, I have minus 4x, 2x takes 6x. Then I have 4 plus 3 is 7 over 6 equals 4. Now I need to get rid of this divided by 6 by multiplying both sides by 6. I'm going to multiply by 6 there. Minus 4x plus 7. 6 fours are 24. I'm going to get rid of my 7 by taking 7. Minus 4x plus 7 minus 7 is gone. 24 takes 7 is 17. Then I will divide by my minus 4. Minus 4 divided by minus 4 is 1x, and I have 17 over minus 4 as my final answer, which you leave as fraction. You don't need to write it as a decimal.